Welcome back to First Issues. Previously, we started a series on unpacking the pillars that will help investors with making informed decisions when looking to make investments across the African continent. Our conversation with the economist at First National Bank of Botswana, Gomolemo Basele, started with a look at economic performance and potential as one crucial factor to consider. Gomolemo highlighted that while current economic performance is important, it is most important to also look into projected growth potential. To continue our talks, Gomolemo returns to discuss yet another pillar, market accessibility and innovation. Gomolemo, thank you so much once again for coming back on First Issues and affording us your time. We're continuing to talk about the tips that you'd like to give investors who are looking to put their money somewhere to get a good return on their investment, right? But this is following the Rand Merchant Bank's Where to Invest in Africa report. And one of the pillars that were put there was market accessibility and innovation. Please unpack that for our viewer.
So absolutely. So market accessibility and innovation, we thought would be a key pillar an investor would look at when deciding which market to invest in. So this speaks to the complexity of the economy or the market, how connected it is to the rest of the world, as well as you mentioned, innovation within the area. So in terms of connectedness, if you're, for example, in the production process and looking to export goods, how easy is it to get it out of the country? What are some of the regulations that are put in place in terms of exporting goods and services, as well as repatriating funds? What capital controls are in place that might affect your decision when choosing a market? So these are some of the things that we looked at, including innovation, which might even speak to service delivery within that market. A key component when deciding a market to place your funds, essentially, from an investor standpoint.
But this is in relation to Africa, right? And Africa is still considered an emerging market for a larger extent. How then do we make this consideration, looking at the fact that it is quite possible that connectivity is yet to be developed, that complexity is yet to be realized, and the innovation is still perhaps lagging comparable to some of the developed economies markets, for example?
Absolutely. When you look at Africa in its totality, maybe innovation might be a bit slower than what we see in developed markets, but that's the beauty of the report. So we are stacking up African countries and trying to compare them against each other to see which might be the most attractive to an investor, for example. So we do this obviously by looking at key pillars, which market accessibility and innovation is one of. And in terms of technology, innovation may be lagging what we're seeing in developed nations. Within Africa itself, there are some countries that are outperformers in terms of what they've been able to bring to their market in terms of innovative processes as well as technology. And that's what we try and account for. So we basically create a standard or a base over which we can then compare 31 countries on the African continent.
In terms of innovation, right, even if it's lagging, what do you think would be some solution-based innovations that might be attractive to a potential investor?
Okay, so innovation, I think, is far-reaching, but to try and aid innovation, especially within the digital space, which seems to be growing quite rapidly globally with the advent of AI and the like and cloud computing, I think providing the infrastructure to develop this innovation along the ICT route would be very helpful to basically growing some of these economies and ensuring that they're not left behind the digital revolution that we're seeing happening within the developed market. So in our case, for example, it would speak to faster delivery of smart bots, for example, to improve business service delivery or service delivery across government, essentially through all the different services that are expected to be listed on the internet, as well as ensuring that internet availability is more wide-reaching to ensure that it creates an conducive space for innovation to actually take root.
In terms of market accessibility and innovation, would you say that Africa then is a prime or fertile ground for an an investor who's just starting out or a seasoned investor?
I would say yes. And, there's the great potential for infrastructure, for example, to be developed along ICT, as we've just mentioned. But Africa also presents a great opportunity in terms of whatever goods that are produced will then be sold or made available to the African continent. And given the size of the continent, the number of consumers that we have on the continent, it provides a great opportunity for you not only to produce based on whichever market is most appealing to you, but and then it provides access to this market, to the same market essentially, for whatever goods that you've produced.
We're back again next time when our conversation will be on economic stability and investment climate as one of the key factors to consider when looking for investment opportunities. Well, with that, we've come to the end of tonight's installment of First Issues. We'll see you again next time. Until then, good night.